Third. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on. I just read your bio, which is pretty interesting. Most would be into romantic writing novel, which I when I was younger, I love horror, those horror stories, and then and also movies of horror stories. Can you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Caytlyn Brooke, and I am a young adult dark fantasy horror sci-fi author.
Okay. Why horror or sci-fi horror the dark side of fantasy? Why?
Well, I just feel like it hasn't really been done as much as it can be, and it's just always been something that's intrigued me because I like the stuff that, makes you look over your shoulder and, makes you hesitant to turn the light off at night. Like I wanted to be making those stories for other people.
Okay, if I so you're saying that if I start reading this book, and then I wouldn't be able to sleep.
That's the goal for Darkflowers. Yeah. I want to give nightmares.
Thank you. How do you come up with these creative stories? Like, how is it like? Do you have like a picture in your mind, or
They just
how
kind
do you
of come to me. A couple of them I've actually dreamed about, which that can maybe freak some people out. If that's what's coming out of my mind. But growing up, I mean, for my first one with Dark Flowers, it's all about scary fairies in the woods. And growing up, I always was looking for fairies and loved exploring with my sister. And I just got the idea in my head. Well, let's take that and turn up the creepiness a little bit.
wow? Do you watch any scary movies?
I used to. Now I can't watch them. I'm too scared. Ironically.
Wow. Oh, do you say in your bio in the Amazon, you say class that you were in love with for like what, Fairytale or something?
In love with fairy.
Fairytale course. I didn't they
Oh
have
yeah,
that course in the
yeah. It was
Can you tell
awesome.
us about that? Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So
Yeah, how did you how did you like get into the class? Like how did you fall in love with that Fairytale? I didn't know they have a class like that.
yeah, I took it at U Albany, and it was all about kind of like it mainly focused on the Grimm brothers and how those original dark, twisted fairy tales were more mainstreamed and tamed. But I liked the originals, and it was just so cool. We learned how Cinderella, in order to put her foot in the slipper, they actually cut off her heel, and like the stepsisters, like there's like blood soaked in the shoe from them trying it on, and it's just these weird, creepy stories.
Really?
Yeah,
Holy shit! Wow. Okay. Now I thought I'm thinking of Cinderella. I was thinking about the light magical moment, but that was deep. Okay. Uh,
yeah. No
um,
happy endings.
wow. Oh, so like, what make you want to become an author? Like, what is it in you that you want to write?
Since third grade, I've wanted to be a writer. And
Hmm.
I have all these ideas in my head, and I want to be able to put them on paper and just let everyone know like what's going on in my mind and what my imagination can create. And hopefully they like it
Hmm.
too.
How was your history of school and education? It like because I the reason I asked that, I wanted to understand what was it like growing up going to school, because when I was growing up going to school, I usually skip a lot, but usually I don't like school as much. A lot of pressure, and I was in special education. But go ahead.
I was actually the exact opposite. I loved school. I never skipped, even on senior skip day. And I know, a little lame, but
No,
um,
no, no, it's okay. It's okay. I think that so there are people who love school, and then there are people who don't like school as much. But go ahead.
So growing up, I mean, I took a lot of creative writing courses, English courses, and I fell in love with the creative writing. I did a lot of art classes too. I'm not very good
Oh,
with art, but but it was cool to explore, that more creative side. And I fell in love with it.
wow. What type of art class did you used to take? Like, is it basic art or?
I did more kind of like, I guess, abstract. I mean, we did a lot with like the Photoshop, which was cool. It took me a long time because I'm not computer savvy. But we did a lot of like you have to create an image using only words. So you have to write a word over and over again in like different colored pencils to create a picture from far away. So that was one of my
Oh.
favorites.
So it's almost like a pixel, right? Where if you write,
Yeah.
like, that's pretty neat. I never thought of that before. Because
Yeah.
back in what, 8th grade, we would like try to they try to teach us how to draw faces and how to line up with what they're trying to do. But what does it felt to become an author and publish your book and people reading it?
Oh, it was amazing. When I got my first like box of shipment of books and I opened it and like I saw my name on there, it was beyond incredible. And I just held it up. I was just like, it was so much fun to see. And now I can go around and tell people, hey, I'm a published author. And it's just, it's been a dream for so long. And I've put in so many years of hard work that it's just so nice to have it finally be here and like concrete in my hands.
Hmm. Well, thank you for doing your dream. I think that so many oftentimes, I don't know if you have seen it lately, that the workplace and school, it's it's taking a toll on people, and they're not going after their dream that they should go after their dream. That's why I do these interview to inspire people, whether they should be an author, actor, artist, entrepreneurs, whatever that may be, because I think that it's sad to have a person to die all with their hopes and dreams in the grave, right? And it's sad
Mhm.
because they couldn't bring that to life. I'm grateful that you follow your dream. Now, when it comes to how do you write your book? Like, do you sit down or what on the computer? What is your process?
So every like I always have a notebook with me, so I'll just jot down ideas. If I'm at like a book signing, I just write and then I'll transpose that and put it on the computer. And basically, I know some people tend to do an outline. They never worked for me. I just sit down and whatever I'm thinking, feeling, wondering about at that time, that's where the story goes. And it just kind of follows this nice organic flow.
So well, so you're saying that yeah. Usually, I have one guy. He's like he don't write an outline. Why is that? Why is that? Like, is it like because it's too structured? What is it that or do you want like? Is it more like if it's structured, it would inhibit you from creativity? What is it like? That's what I'm curious.
Yeah, sometimes it will put you in like a little box, and makes it hard to kind of think outside how the characters are going to get from point A to point B. Mostly for me, honestly, my stories, I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't really plot them out. I have this one idea in my head and I just want to keep going. And wherever my thoughts take me, that's how the book becomes its fluid little self. And so sometimes, like, if I have an idea, like when I'm done writing for the day, I'll jot that down. But other than that, I just go where it takes me.
So, when you talk about ideas, does it like there's something like come to you, or it's just like your brain is coming up with ideas?
It just, yeah,
Usually,
it's kind of the wheels just start turning, and then I just write as long as I can.
do you have a? I'm interested. Do you develop these characters, like their personalities?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Basically, I start with like the shell of the character. Hello, my cat came to join us, and then
Oh,
from there, say hi.
That I'm allergic to pets.
And then
Go ahead.
from there, they just kind of take on a life of their own, and then I just feel them out, develop their sense of self from there, their purpose, their values, a little bit of humor here and there. And it's really cool to see how they each develop individually.
I see one of your posts. You like books? It seemed like you read.
Oh yeah, I'm constantly reading.
Why? Very interesting. Like most people don't read, but you read. Why is it that you read?
Well, one, I mean, reading's one of my favorite pastimes. It's just so nice. It's the perfect way to relax. You just grab a book and then escape to that world for, an hour or two. And it's just so nice to just sit by yourself and, explore other characters and other genres. And two, it's also really good for like research to see what's out there, because I might have this amazing idea and then come to find out someone's already written a book and published it. So that's also helpful.
Oh, it's almost like yeah, you don't want to like write that, kind of like copywriting, right? Or plagiarism.
Like copywriting, right? Yeah, and then you just want to make sure that you have a standout original idea. When I first started writing, I would jot down a couple here and there, but I wouldn't use the first few because it's more than likely that someone else has already thought of them. So I would pick like my seventh or eighth idea and then go with that.
That's a lot of. I was thinking about that's a lot of like because basically you say original, but I was thinking like that's a lot of like stories that people written. I was like, how do you deal with that? Like that's a lot of stories that have been written.
Yeah, there's a lot. I have a huge notebook full of ideas that have already, that someone else has already created, or ones that, I still have yet to be written. So I'm never going to be able to stop writing. I've just got too many ideas for that.
Oh gosh. When it come to I was thinking, what was it I was thinking about? You're talking about do you read, you say what type of genre do you usually read? The Go ahead.
Right now, usually it's only like young adult. I love young adult. You can do so much with it. And I find adult literature is just a little too stuffy. I feel like some authors try a little bit too hard. Young adult is just a little bit more relaxed and fun. And I love fantasy. I'm just getting into sci-fi myself, now that the genre has kind of expanded. I just read a really great dark fantasy horror by C.W. Breyer called Whispers from the Depths. And then
I was thinking. I was thinking about when you say you were. Do you read Stephen King book?
I've actually never read Stephen King, but my one book, Darkflowers, has been compared to Carrie.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What is? Now I'm gonna have nightmares when I'm going to sleep. Thank you. But no, because usually sometimes when I either read or watch a scary movie or read something, I usually have nightmares. But it's good. It's good for adrenaline rush. What when it comes to your book, what is if an author would like to write a book of either any type of genre would they want to write, what is your message in for how to write the book, or what is the process like if you want to get your message out there?
Sure. I mean, it's a long process. Unfortunately, it's really long and it takes a lot of dedication and hard work. But as long as you just keep writing, one of the biggest things is people ask me, well, what do I do if I get stuck? They say that they can get, a couple pages in, but then they don't really know else to do. What I like to tell people, if you can think of an idea that's maybe further on in the book, write that. You can jump around and then it'll fill in the spots like as you start, getting further in, creating more scenes, and then the characters would just kind of develop themselves. And that's been really helpful for me.
Never actually thought about that. Thank you for like so much advice. Because for me, I used to write a story, not like really like type of novel type of way, but it's more like a I don't know if you ever heard it. It's like manga, like Naruto, or like anime type of style, like
Oh, yeah.
style. Um, and what was it? What is your? Oh yeah, what is your message? If you would have, what is your message to your audience, your fan, or people who read your book? What is your message for them? Like, um, you want them to hear from you, like follow dreams, or what is it that you want them to know?
Um, you mean like about my books in general, or just about like the whole writing process?
Well, no. I mean, like, what would you want to leave them? Like, either hope, a dream, or a message that you want to deliver. It can be a book too after that, but what is your message for them, for your viewers or a fan?
Sure. Basically, I mean, if you have a dream, just keep going for it. I mean, I did the querying process for 2 years and I heard 1,000 no's that no one wanted my work. And it was hard. It was hard to get those rejection letters over and over and over again. But if you just keep going and keep trying, try different avenues, try, switching it up a little bit, as long as you have that determination and that fight for what you want, you're going to get it. So just
Hmm,
keep going.
interesting. Thank you. So you had rejection. Like at first, was it painful?
Oh, yeah. And it was so sad. The worst too, because I would spend, like an hour making this perfect query letter with everything that the agent wanted. I would send it off, and literally within 3 minutes, it'd be like, "Oh, thank you so much," but no. I'm like, did you even read it? Like, I spent all that time, and it was really, really hard. And then when when my book, came out and the first couple of reviews came in, a lot of them were great, but then, there's always those handfuls that are like, 1 star, 2 stars. This book was crap. And I'm like, oh, it was really hard. It's like I poured so much of myself into this and I spent years on this book. And for you to just be like, I didn't like it. I was like, okay,
Well,
thanks.
I mean, at least you have enthusiastic about it. Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. But that's why I brought you on in the first place.
Oh,
Because
really?
yeah, because I saw your tweet where you said they were you have like you were a bad review. I was like, you know what? That person is like, see, the thing is with people is they never written a book. They wouldn't understand, right?
Right.
Because people who write books, they have so much dedicated time and they also get rejected. For me
Mm.
as an interviewer, I interview vastly large people from the genre that well you're the first one for the dark side of the novel, and then there are romantics and then artists. But all these people have a common theme. They're usually going after something that they want,
Hmm.
but there are some people who don't like their work, so they get rejected. And so I got rejection from interview trying to get people to get interviewed. Just either they're shy or I don't know what happened. But the thing, it was painful, right? Like you said. But if you keep going, you can get it. But
Yeah.
how do you feel? Well, it's for me. When it comes to, because I read self help. I don't usually read when I buy the books, because most people get this mixed up. When I buy the book, I don't usually read the reviews. I think it's biased. It's just no, it's because for me, I remember I was reading self help one of the self help books. I got angry at this person for like, because I was into this subject, and it was attacking my how I see it. But as I see, most people don't understand that as you grow older, you expand your level of understanding. So I don't get angry anymore. So, but when it comes to failure, how do you see failure?
I mean, failure, it definitely stings, but I mean, not everyone is going to like your work. So you just keep going and it's just another stepping stone. If someone doesn't like it for a particular reason, great. Tell me why. How can I improve? How can I become better? Because that's what I'm striving for. I'm striving to be the best author that I can. And I hate when the reviews are just like, no, I didn't like it, didn't finish it. And then they don't tell me why. Like, please, I need to know why. Like, what about it? Like, in that one that I posted about, he actually said I was too descriptive, which I was really surprised about because I had never heard that as being a negative before. My goal is to be descriptive so that people can visualize the scene really well. And it was just really shocking for him to say that I was too descriptive. So, now in my next book, I'm going to look at it a little differently and I might scale it back a little bit. I'm still going to write what I want and write my style, but maybe I'll look at it a little bit and leave off a couple adjectives here and there. So
That's very good. Yeah. Wait, what was it? I can't hear you. What was it?
Sorry, it's just a nice way to help you grow.
Yes. Yes. That's one also the good thing too. What do you see its growth as? I want to understand now. What do you see growth as?
Growth as?
Yeah, you say to grow because
Sure.
you have a you have they call it growth mindset. You have a growth mindset where you can see things that to be improved, right? And so like a lot of people don't see that they can improve, right?
Right.
So where does this mindset come from to improve?
Well, I mean, it's just something I've always had. I've always striven. Like I said, I love school, so I always strove for those A's and being in the top 10% of my class. Like I said, lame, but
No,
I
no,
mean,
no, it's not
even
lame. No, no, it's not lame. No. Um, for me, it's just that for me, I have a really bad time with school is because I believe that school shouldn't label a kid a special education because if you label a kid special education or lower IQ, what end up happening is it affect the perception about themselves. What end up happening is if they believe it to be true, their behavior toward that academic will be true for them because it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, if
right.
you given a kid an idea that they're smart, that they can do well, and they can aim for it, they will generally do well because our brain is a mechanism where if you have a target to aim, it will go to that target. It will achieve that target because I know that to be true because I set goals, I read books. I'm generally I do like to read. I used to when I was a kid. I like to read Star Wars, stuff like that. But yeah, generally, if people don't understand it, but when it comes to, but go ahead. So it's never lame. It's your story. It's not my story. So, but
Well,
yeah, go
thank
ahead.
you. But I mean, growth for me, I mean, I've even seen just a ton from when I first started writing. That writing was horrible. So it's just nice to see with every new book, every new project, how I'm growing, how it's just become tighter. It's become more concise. I can convey what I want to so much more richly, which is really great. And even from my first book, Darkflowers, to my second one, Wired, there's the change in the writing is just amazing. Like Wired, it just feels so much more mature than Darkflowers. And I mean, they were only a span of 2 years difference. So just kind of constantly working, constantly refining my craft and learning from others. That's why I read so much. It really, I've seen so much growth in just myself so far.
Yeah, it seemed like when you read it, not only opened like the world that you see, but it developed like what vocabulary, right? That's
Oh,
why I read it. College book. It said. Yeah, I used to go to college. They have like this book. It's called Reading Book. It's just like it said. If you would read, it'll help you with your vocabulary.
mm-hmm. It
Um,
sure would.
what was it?
No, you're right. It sure does, especially because, sometimes I would even keep like a dictionary by me, because if I didn't know a word that an author used, I would just look it up and just right there, I'd know a new word and then I can use that in my own and you can not only enrich your own, writing, but also your own conversations with others.
Interesting. Do you market your books or products?
I definitely try. My publisher does a lot of that. So I try to, I'm out at book signings. I do a lot of like social media, Twitter and Facebook. Kind of getting more on Instagram. It's tough. I'm not all that interesting to take a picture of. So I get like a selfie here and there. But other than that, so I'm definitely working on getting the marketing up a little bit more.
It seems like there's a lot to learn to become an author because every time I interview an author, there's so much so much to learn.
Yeah, there's a lot. And when I first started, I wrote a book in high school, and I tried to self-publish that through Create Space with Amazon. And they made the book and it was published and everything, but there was absolutely no marketing. And being a, high school senior, I had no money to do that myself. And social media, 10 years wasn't anything. So I couldn't even, put a post up on Twitter or Facebook because it hadn't even like started yet, which is really weird to think about. But so I've definitely had to learn a lot about marketing. My publisher keeps yelling at me. They're like, you have to do more on social media. So I'm
Yeah.
trying.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing that you do this interview. It's technically a promotion, but not really. It's just that it's called video marketing. That's what I'm doing, but not many people know about it. So we live. I haven't done this for a while. So we used to live in the world where there's a paper, newspaper, flyers. That's outbound marketing. That's pushing your products or service to people that you don't know. Now we have online, which Twitter, Instagram, all that. It's called inbound marketing. You're pulling people into your whatever message that you have to have.
Oh,
Yeah. Because I read a lot. Because I wanted to get my message out there. That's why I had to learn a lot of either marketing books and a lot of things that I have to learn. Um, what does success look like to you?
Oh, well, I would love to walk down that red carpet one day in a beautiful dress and the movie premiere of my book, but far
That's
away.
what. Sorry. That's what I was. I think that you brought it up. That good thing because I have to keep that in mind. But go ahead. Good thing you brought it up. I wanted to know. But go ahead.
So yeah, so I mean, right now, like I would really love to be on the New York Times best-selling list. That's been my dream for a while. My book has already won numerous awards, both of them. So I'm really excited that I can claim that. So that's one, check mark off the off the dream box. But basically, I would love to be able to reach the point where I can just be an author full time and support my family. That that would be amazing.
Oh, that's a beautiful dream. You can do
I
it.
know. Isn't that nice? I can stay all
Um,
day in my sweatpants and
yeah. Speaking of which, yeah, you were good thing that you remind me because I did had the. What if your book become a movie?
that'd be amazing. I already know for my next book that I'm writing, Charlie's Theron, if you are there and watching, I would love you to play Hera, the goddess.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful. But that would be beyond amazing if it became a movie. I just
Mm.
I wouldn't be able to even comprehend it happening.
When it comes to fear, do you have any, and how do you overcome it?
Um, I mean, being an author, I think the fear of rejection is probably the biggest one. And I mean, you just have to push it aside and be like, okay, let's try it again. And I worked in sales my whole life, so hearing no was, very common for me. So that background has actually helped me a lot being an author because I know not everyone is going to love my product, but I'm just going to keep trying until I find someone who will because that's who's going to love it and who's going to really enjoy it and that's who I write for. I write for I write for the readers.
Huh, it's interesting. How did you get in sales?
Oh, just little jobs here and there. I was like a perfume vendor. So I was the person who would spray as you walked through the mall. I did that for a couple years during college. I was a waitress on Fridays. That was a lot of fun, a lot of work, but just so basically I just took the experience that I had, upselling, the different products and the different brands and being able to really talk to people as just regular people. I took like a public speaking class. So, you know how a lot of people are terrified of speaking in public. I'm just like, all right, move aside, let's go. So I really don't mind at all. And it's a lot of fun. I can go up there and just let loose and be completely relaxed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, well, usually for me, I'm a class clown, and usually I would do things like, because usually if a class, because let's say, because back in college, it was an English class. The teacher's amazing.
Mhm.
And I let everyone go first because I know for a fact if they let me, because either I can go first or I can go last. So I chose to go last so I can see how everybody present their presentation, and people would usually get bored. So what I'm happening is when I go last, I go up there and I say, you know what, I'm gonna make it the best. So I do like martial art kung fu stuff, and I yell, and it was great. that, but the thing is, I think it's hard to, like you said, we had the good thing that you have a lot of skills.
Thank
You have a lot of
you.
for. I wish I had that. Jesus, I had to learn that. Wow, I have to become aware that there's so many things that you love learning though. You love learning.
Yeah, I do.
That's really incredible. What superpower? What superpower would you have if you have it? Would
Oh.
have it?
To be able to, what is that? To transport, to pop around, so I could be here and then I could
Right.
just be at the mall. Because I'm always late. Everywhere I go, I am always late. So if I could just, okay, I'm leaving right now, poof, and just instantly vanish and be there, that'd be my superpower. To get to
When you
places on
say
time.
that, when you say that, that sounds amazing. When you say that, that sounds amazing.
Wouldn't it be good?
Um, w- uh, when it comes to time travel, or where would you want to go if we would have a time machine? Where would you go? Past, present, future?
I would go to the past. I would love to go to, what is it? Like maybe like mid 1800s. I just want to wear those pretty big southern dresses, and I'll even take the corset. I'll take it all. I want that big beautiful southern belle experience. I just think that would be so much fun. I want the accent
Wow.
too.
Oh, oh gosh. Um. Oh, oh yeah. What would I forgot to ask that one. Your book. What would the audience get out of it, or your message?
Well, my new one, Wired, actually have it here.
Oh yeah. Oh,
This
Silver.
one,
I love. Sorry. By the way, sorry about that. I love hardcover. It's because I know that people, I know it's a thing. It's just that you know how like they have ebooks now,
Mhm.
and then with Kindle, I can't do it. I need to be able to like flip through a book.
Right.
I
And
right, but why?
there's something so satisfying about this, that closing, that sound that you've finished a book. It's you can't do that with an ebook. So having the paperback or the hardcover, it's the way to go. But with Wired, it's my newest one. It's a sci-fi set in 2031, and it's all about technology and how the world has become addicted to technology, which is I pretty much took it off of today. I mean, you walk down the street and you see someone walking their dog with their phone in their hand. You see a mother with her children at the park and the kids are playing while the mother's sitting on the bench with the phone in her hand. People just don't know how to turn it off. So I took all of that and put it in the future a little bit, advanced some of the apps, which was really cool, inventing new apps and seeing how like socialization has changed and just social interaction itself. So the main girl, Maggie, she gets this new technology. Rather than a phone, it's actually implants on the back of your head, and you see everything in your mind. And it's all virtual reality. You can go wherever you want, do whatever you want, you know, try a crazy skydive experience, something that you would never do, you know, in real life because, you know, of fear or, you know, anxiety, money problems, like stuff like that. Here you can just do whatever you want. But as Maggie starts to get into it and favor the virtual reality over reality, her her real life starts to crumble as she gives way. She makes these sacrifices. She pushes away her friends because she just wants more time in the virtual world and in social media, because that's where she finds herself. That's where she finds she belongs. So in this book, I'm really trying to show people how deep we're getting, and just to pull it back a little bit. Just, you know, put your phone down when you play with your children. Don't bring it to the table when you eat dinner. Just little things that if we change them now, it won't be so drastic in the future.
That's so beautiful, and I would like you to because this is what you because basically that's my message. Because people the thing yeah, because I understand this too. This is a great book. I recommend everybody read because it's the same thing that it's called Hooked.
Cool.
I've been telling you that it's basically what you're saying, right? That the reason why people get addicted to these technology is because companies like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they know about your brain. They market to your brain. They don't market. The people think that they're marketing to, you know, just to like whatever, but they're training you to release these dopamine to activate your reward system and it become a habit. It's a loop. And
Exactly.
so that's what you're saying.
Yep. And that's
And yeah, I do
for that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
and I do observe people. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Like I do observe people. Like I can see. For me, I when I listen to people, I put my phone down. Right. I actively engage what they're saying because it's important to them.
Right.
And I observe people. It's for me anyway. If people take their phone and not listen to what I have to say, that means that like I'm not important, right? Or like it, or like for me anyway. I think that you didn't care what I have to say. You didn't care enough.
Right.
And that's how I feel, right?
Mm-hmm. I
And
agree.
I observe everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yes.
But
even toddlers have a phone or a tablet. Like they should be playing. Get them a toy. Get them a little book. Get the phone out of their hands. It's getting so bad. And I had to write about it because there was so much emotion that I had for it that I had to get it out. And that's the product. And I'm so proud of it because it's me through and through. I just
I'm good. I'm glad that you read it. I'm glad that you read it. But it's almost the things I saw something very interesting, that these technologies are more like an extension of you. So most people, it's scary because I listen to a lot of interviews and on YouTube. It's scary that these technologies are like we're putting our information, who we are subconsciously to this AI, to these things, and one day it's us where we're putting these more information in. Because here's the thing people don't understand, that most people say, you know how like they have a story of Facebook, they're like people they're misusing people data. People already put information about them already. I can know what you like on Facebook by your likes, by what you say. Like there's no hiding, and people complain about that, right? And I was like, well, but yeah, thank you so much for writing that. Like that's these technology are it's creating this massive sooner. What do you think about AI? What do you think about it?
I haven't looked too much into it, but I mean, I'm definitely a little wary. I mean, anything that just keeps replacing human interaction with just another computer, another robot. It's just, I don't know, it just scares me because soon our entire world, our entire existence is going to be running off of computers and off of a system. If something crashes or something goes down or it gets hacked, like what's going to happen? I mean, just like you said, I mean, and I've seen it a million times, like people hack Facebook accounts. So that's someone hacking you essentially. And it's just incredible to think. And I actually had someone at a book signing when I was talking to him about Wired and about the future. He's like, well, can they be hacked? Like if everything's in the mind, can hackers get into your mind and hack that? Which was a huge thing. So I was just like, oh my God, sequel. But it's just
oh wow, but the thing is what you said is so beautiful. I was like, oh shit.
It's scary to think about. Like maybe I can be hacked. Like it's like a whole nother thing of brainwash. And that's what technology is right now. It's brainwashing you. Like every time you hear that little ping, people they have to look at their phone. What is it? What am I missing? What's going on? Nothing. Nothing's going on. Like
I know what you're getting on, but this is what make it even more aware. You know what? Have you watched the movie The Matrix?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is exactly happened.
Yep.
So every time I bring people on, I talk about The Matrix, right? When you talk about brainwashing, right? You know how like people in the Matrix, they're living in a dream world.
Yeah.
So for me, even though it's not actually people already living in this dream world that people made up, but people are unconsciously unaware. For example, the reason why I do these interviews is to make people aware of what's happening. So the news is controlling your mind. I know that people don't believe this because I listen to these. I study a little bit about history about school. That school was built for to help someone to live their dream instead of people living their dream. Because when you're working, you're spending your energy. Your energy is currency. So if people are distracted from their energy, they won't be able to create their life dream. That is powerful. The idea is about controlling the people mind. If you control people perception, you can control anything.
Exactly. Yep.
It's powerful. I know it's one of the things that people it's scary. It's
It is.
yeah. The thing that you say about technology is pretty scary. But that book, I want to read that book.
I think you'd like it.
I think I like it too. Where can we find you on social media?
Sure. So I'm on Twitter at Caytlyn Brooke. I'm on Facebook at Caytlyn Brooke again, Caytlyn Brooke author. And then my books are also on Amazon as well as Barnes and Noble.
Thank you. I almost forgot one question. Book signing. How does it feel to book sign your book?
It's so cool. I actually went to Ithacon, which is over here in New York in Ithaca. And this was my second year. And when I went this year, I actually had a couple people who came by my table and they're like, oh my God, I bought that book last year. It was so good. And it was just the coolest feeling for me that, someone, one, remembered me, and then two, just loved the book, which is that's all I want. I just want people to love it and to identify with it and to get something out of it. And it was really cool for them to come back and, say hi and buy my new book. So it was really fun. I love book signings.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
You're so
I hope
welcome.
that thank you. And I'm sorry about the other time. I couldn't do it last time, but I'm sorry. Now at least we're doing that. So thank you. And after this, after I finish uploading it, and I'll send it to you. All right.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much for having me, Johnny.
You're welcome. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a good night. Phew, okay.